It's a clash between two of boxing's greatest legends of this generation, both ranked in the top 5 pound for pound and considered surefire first-ballot Hall of Famers, as they face off in an undisputed championship bout. Each fighter brings unique challenges to the ring. For Canelo Alvarez, it's Terence Crawford's style, a style that appears tailor-made to beat him. What has often worked in Canelo's favor is the fear his opponents carry into the ring, but the two fearless fighters who weren't intimidated and used a similar style managed to defeat him on points. Now, Crawford is gearing up to hand the Mexican champion the third loss of his career. Canelo is well aware of the challenge ahead, stating, "I know Crawford likes to move a lot, but I'm ready for him. I want to beat Crawford and show the world who Canelo Alvarez is." But is there really anyone who doesn't already know? He's proven himself to be one of the best, perhaps the best, and all anyone can do now is deny it. Maybe Canelo is referring to his naysayers, like Oscar de la Hoya, whom he hopes to silence with this performance once and for all. Ahead of this mega fight, Golden Boy Promotions founder and former Canelo promoter Oscar de la Hoya spoke to FightHub TV about the age of both fighters, while also taking a jab at Canelo's footwork. On September 13th, two elite boxers will collide for undisputed super middleweight glory in what promises to be a thrilling build-up and an intriguing clash. Crawford will aim to become the first male fighter, and only the second in history, to achieve undisputed status in 3 weight classes during the 4-belt era. Meanwhile, Canelo will enter the second bout of his historic 4-fight deal with Riyadh season, and a victory would set him up for the remaining 2 fights of that deal in 2026.
Canelo, obviously he walks on quicksand. We saw it against Skull once again. Crawford is very, he's not one-dimensional. He can move, he can box, he can, I don't know how hard he hits to keep Canelo away from him, but I think it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
When discussing the Canelo versus Crawford fight, Oscar de la Hoya commented on the age of both fighters, saying, "The facts are that they're both over 35 years old, and I remember when I fought Julio Cesar Chavez, he was 32 and a 99-1 favorite. Yet, people thought he was over the hill." The Golden Boy Promotions founder was then asked if his prediction had changed following Canelo's underwhelming win over William Skull. He responded, "Yeah, it's hard to say because Canelo, obviously walks on quicksand. We saw it against Skull once again."
I want to get your thoughts. Canelo, Crawford, who wins and why?
Well, look, I've been in this game for such a long time, and I like to say I'm a historian. There's never been a good little man that beats a good big man. It hasn't happened. The exception is maybe.
Looking ahead to September 13th, Oscar de la Hoya spoke about Terence Crawford's skill set, saying, "Crawford is very, he's not one-dimensional. He can move. He can box. I don't know how hard he hits to keep Canelo away from him, but I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to the fight." De la Hoya has weighed in on Canelo Alvarez's next bout, highlighting Crawford's abilities while questioning whether Canelo can handle them. Stay with Big Fight Weekend for all the build-up and coverage on Fight Night. As for Crawford, he sees things differently. There's nothing Canelo brings into the ring that's too strange, too complicated, or too confusing for the highly technical fighter. However, Canelo's weight has become a growing concern. While Crawford has bulked up too, that strategy only pays off if his power moves up with him. Canelo may not have secured a knockout in his last few fights, but his punching power is still very real, and Crawford will be cautious not to fall victim to it. Crawford confidently stated, "He has power, but I do too. I've never felt his power, and he hasn't felt mine either. So it's 50-50. We can both get hurt, and I promise you I won't just lay down. I'm putting up a fight, and I'm winning."
5 years old, both, and I remember I fought Chavez when he was 32, and he was 99-1, and people thought he was over the hill. So,
have you changed your pick for that fight, Oscar, based on how Canelo looked against Skull?
yeah, it's hard to say.
One of the concerns surrounding the September 13th fight is Crawford's sudden rise in weight divisions, first moving up to 154 pounds, where he defeated Israel Madrimov to claim the WBA and WBO interim super middleweight titles, and now making another jump to face Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. This rapid progression has sparked discussions about whether it could significantly impact the Omaha, Nebraska native, especially since Canelo, from Guadalajara, Mexico, naturally carries more weight and power. Crawford's adaptation to the higher weight class is expected to be challenging, both physically and strategically. Despite this, boxing legend Sugar Ray Leonard remains confident in Crawford's abilities, telling Fight Hub TV, "He can do it. He can do it, no doubt. Weight is a challenge, but there's always a way." "There's always a way to win," said the legendary former boxer Sugar Ray Leonard, who recalled a similar moment in his own career, when in 1988, after a year of inactivity, he moved up a division to face and defeat Canadian Donnie Lalonde. "Every time he hit me seriously, he hurt me to some extent. He didn't knock me out, but he hurt me, so to speak," Leonard explained, advising that Terence "Bud" Crawford must be prepared to take punishment but rely on his strengths and skills to overcome Canelo. It's a leap of faith, much like Leonard's was. Interestingly, not too long ago, there was talk of another high-profile matchup involving Crawford, as it once seemed possible that the legendary Manny Pacquiao might face him when both were active and moving within similar weight classes. However, the anticipated clash between Pacquiao and Crawford never materialized, which may have been for the best, considering Pacquiao appeared to be a shadow of his former self in his final professional bouts. Since then, Crawford has gone on to defeat the top contenders in and around his weight class, collecting title belts and maintaining an undefeated record that has propelled him to the top of the pound-for-pound rankings. Now, Crawford is set to face Canelo Alvarez in mid-September, in what will be by far the biggest payday of his career. Meanwhile, Pacquiao is also returning to the ring this summer, taking on reigning WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios on July 19th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Despite being 46 and facing an opponent 16 years younger, Pacquiao remains focused on his own fight. Still, during a May 23rd interview with Fight Hub TV, he shared his thoughts on the Canelo vs. Crawford showdown. When asked what advice he'd give Crawford for taking on a naturally bigger opponent like Canelo, Pacquiao simply said, "My advice is that he should make sure to focus on speed."
What about Crawford do you think can bridge the weight gap, or like with you, what did bridge the weight gap? Because a lot of people are just saying, hey, Canelo's just too big for someone like Terence.
That's true, but you know what? There's always a way. Put it that, there's always a way. There's always.
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford, remind me if I'm wrong, but you moved up insane amounts of weight to fight Lanny Dadon and you pulled it off.
Yeah.
How were you able to do it? And what, if Crawford's listening to this or Canelo's listening, what do you tell them about their fight?
Whoever wants to win will win. You know what I mean? I'm not being funny. Whoever wants to win will win.
The will overcomes everything. That's how you did it.